Ayodhya was built by Manu. The kings of that dynasty who came after him expanded it, made it even more beautiful. There is a beautiful description of the city life that was going on in the capital, how life was well organized there. There are beautiful descriptions of the abundance of life, the charm, the opportunities for life at many levels, the crafts and occupations of the people. Those who read it thousands of years later, if only their present city were as well governed and prosperous as Ayodhya, they would think. Dasharatha himself ruled well. The people loved and respected him, and the best ministers acted in a way that satisfied his mind. There were people like Vasishtha as the priest of the clan and dynasty, and advisors like Sumantra as friends and favorite ministers. The environment of city life was one of comfort and convenience. Surrounded by friendly people, the situation inside the palace was only that there was a conflict in the relations between the three queens of the king and their attendants. Kausalya was older in age, wealthy. The king's respect was due to her. But Kaikeyi, who had been brought from the distant northwestern region, had won his love and trust and was appreciated by the king. There was a friend between these two. She was more pleased with Kausalya than with the younger queen. Kausalya hoped to re-establish her supremacy in the palace, as the mother of Rama, who would later become the ruler. Kaikeyi behaved arrogantly with the other two queens. She had to experience the lack of Dasharatha's love for her and was also tormented by Saviti's inferiority and arrogance. A good feature of the situation was Kausalya's love for Bharata, Kaikeyi's admiration for Rama, the harmony, and agreement of minds between the siblings. For about a year after Rama's marriage, the princes lived happily in their various palaces with their wives. Swam Bharyam Upadaya Ramaya Swaswamandari, is the saying of the Ramayana. Sita also had a permanent home in Rama's palace, in love, Nityam Riddhi Samarpita. One day, Dasharatha had a bad omen. He had a nightmare about his lifespan. He had other thoughts as well. He was thinking that it was time to hand over the kingdom to Rama. According to ancient tradition, Rama was the one who was worthy of being the heir. He was also the jewel in the crown of the people of Ayodhya. When the king's wish was announced, all classes of people are happy. The joy of Kausalya is greater than anything. Dasharatha's desire was to complete all the rituals of the Avishekam as soon as possible. Immediately after the marriage, he went to his uncle-in-law and grandparents and did not inform Bharata, Kaikeyi's family, or Sita's father Janakani, who were at Kaikeyi's home, about the Avishekam. But a situation arose independently in Kaikeyi's inner palace, and there is a difference of opinion about this period. Some say it was 1 year. Some say it was 12. Most say it must have been 1. Bharata and Kaikeyi seemed to have some kind of connection. It was rumored that Dasharatha had promised Kaikeyi's father that he would give the kingdom to the son he would bear. Rama had mentioned this to him at some point in the past. But it never became a serious issue. In any case, the attempt to install the young king was rushed. It was not that Bharata would interfere with this, nor that he would disturb the ceremony, nor that his grandfather and relatives would try to establish his power by breaking Dasharatha's promise. Pyasa had set aside all other powers. Other rights and obligations were not to be considered here. It worked beyond the rest. Grows, her palace maid, Dadi Manther, who had raised Kaikeyi since she was a child, was an old woman. She knew the details of the coronation preparations. Kausalya was a generally strong-willed woman. She used to give generously at that time. She saw Manthara engaged in the festivities. She came to know that Rama was to be made the crown prince the next day. That was the reason. She rushed to her mistress and told her the news and warned her. "How foolish you are, beware of danger," she said. The news was actually pleasant to Kaikeyi at first. She felt the same love she had for her son when she saw Rama. Even more so, she thought. Rama had shown Kaikeyi love and respect that no other son had ever seen. It was also a behavior that was acceptable to that house. Rama, the eldest son of the children, was worthy of everything. Rama had received the recognition he deserved, she thought. But she could not accept Mantha. If this happens, all your greatness in the palace will end. It is not true that you boast about how much trust Dashratha has in you. Kausalya will become the mother of the king who will rule tomorrow. She will soon be in the palace, she said. You, who have been belittling yourself for so long, will now have to act subserviently to the will of Kausalya, who is coming to power, she said. Remember how you saved Dashratha on the battlefield in the past and helped him to recover. Then tell the king what I have promised you. Let it be forced upon him. Didn't he give you 2 boons then? I had said that you would ask for them whenever you wanted. Now is the time to ask for them. This is the time to receive the fruits of the boon. One is that Rama should live in the forest for 14 years. The second is that Bharata should be given to him in return. Go to the anger chamber in your palace and accept this kind of wealth, retention, and never accept your husband again. Manthara advised. When Dashratha arrived at Kaikeyi's inner palace, he found his younger queen adamant about Rama's exile. All kinds of prayers and threats of rewards were in vain. When he wanted to know why she had taken such a step, he gave her a word that would prove to be a disaster. Without knowing what she was going to ask, he said, I will do whatever you ask. He swore by Rama. He had never expected that she would ask him to send his beloved son, who was without any fault or defect, to the forest. His own love and hopes were shattered. This would bring disgrace to a public figure like a king. But what? He was truthful. What he had promised earlier was true. It was his duty to fulfill it. Now, he had sworn on his good deeds that he would fulfill her wish. Kaikeyi sent word to Rama. She said that it was his duty to fulfill the promise his father had made to him. Father could not utter these words. There was a need for a truthful person to take action. He had to fulfill this promise and be saved. Rama himself had also been happy for a while. The announcement of the Yavraja had taken place in the assembly only a few hours ago. Again, the matter was clear in his father's palace. Preparations were underway in Kausalya's temple and in his own house. Outside, the happy celebrations of the villages were spreading. This thunderbolt was unexpected. Rama understood the situation. That is, he would understand his father's condition in a minute. This is how his mother Kaike felt.